Welcome back to Dark Side Paranormal, everybody. Here in WTMY 1280 with Miss Ellen, Mr. Gino Norman, and myself, Alejandro del Valle. We're still having people online, and
Miss Tammy
yes,
and Miss Peggy.
yes,
Yes.
We're so glad that you're still there. I have a question for you.
Yes.
When people call you to report an incident, I
Right.
know that you're very sensitive and very understanding and helpful to them. Is there ever a time when you ask the people to be evaluated psychologically before you check out the home?
That is a good question. You know, I guess if we felt the need, I haven't really, under Key West Paranormal, I haven't really felt the need for someone to see a psychiatrist. Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, yeah, just to find out, what their level of mental health is. So
Yeah, for the most part, I think you can almost tell. Help me out here, Peggy. You can almost tell if someone is pretty well together. If
I know we had a case. I had a case once where we were invited to an elderly, a man and wife's home. He was seeing things, spirits coming out of the wall in the middle of the night. And after talking to him, he was on several medications. So we really did. They didn't want to accept that, though. All they wanted to hear was that, yes, we're really seeing this. The wife didn't see it. The husband did. He was the one on medications. We really had to sit down with them and explain that it could have been due to one of the medications. We did stay that evening. Of course, we didn't see anything coming out of the walls. So sometimes you do have to handle it sensitively. Usually you can tell. We have had cases where just from the nature of how they handle it, it's almost as if they want to know that, yes, there's a spirit here. There's a spirit here. Then we know there's something wrong. It's very hard to help me out.
Well, I understand.
Sometimes I think they want confirmation,
right,
just to know that they're not crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And they see things or they hear things, and they think they're losing their mind. And so I do think that they want confirmation, just for their own knowledge, to know that they're not going nuts.
they just know that they just want to know if they have to go to the psychiatrist or stay at home.
Sometimes they do. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure at some point that we're going to run into someone that we're going to recognize some signs that maybe this person does need a psychiatrist or psychiatric help.
Mm-hmm.
I have not run into it yet under Key West Paranormal Society. I think everyone that we have run into, they've wanted confirmation that what was happening is in fact real, and they're not losing their mind. But it hasn't been, I don't feel it has been a case where they just have lost their mind and they need a psychiatrist rather than a paranormal team. And I'm sure we're going to run into that. I'm sure at some point.
We have pre-intake forms in which we ask a little bit of the background so that we can better investigate the house or the property. And we are very sensitive in our questioning as to if any member has had any problems, psychological issues.
Yes.
So we do try to get at that. And in the past, not with Key West Paranormal, but in the past, I have had responses on that. Oh, my daughter is bipolar, so then we know that there could be some issues there. So our questioning beforehand often we've been very lucky. We've just, been very lucky in that we haven't had to deal with that in
Our intake
Paranormal so far.
Our intake forms, though, are 3 pages long.
Wow.
It's very thorough, and it'll ask, every question that you could think of to try to weed those types of cases out, to try to narrow it down. So, and then we also do the pre-investigation prior to a formal investigation where we do the client interview. So we're pretty thorough at doing our, gathering our information up front
And
to try
being as
to see
sensitive
what
as you
exactly
are.
it is that we are up against. That
And
way,
I've had a psychological background. I majored in psychology, so I think I can help in that area when I I can. Well, I think if there was some major problem that we would, many of us would be able to recognize it,
right.
either from the intake form or from just the conversing with the person.
That's wonderful.
You
That's
hope
really
you can.
very reassuring. So it helps to distinguish between what may be, a non-issue from something that really needs your attention.
Exactly.
Well, we came across something recently that may need your attention. Alejandro has information about a local hotel that has a room that's been giving people trouble.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm just gonna let you know that we have this room that is the 418. I won't tell you which hotel because we're on the air and the managers are listening to us.
Okay.
So now they know. Well, in this hotel, someone died a long time ago in that room, and after that, people are starting having accident. One of my coworkers, he was changing a light, and something or someone moved the ladder, and he fall, and he cut his arm completely. And apparently, these days, when I'm doing the investigation in that room, stuff is start happening. Like, stuff are moving, the temperature are changing. I can see my breath, and marks in the chairs and in the bed and all stuff, the mattresses. When this room, for some reason, no one rented, won't be rented. So normally someone have to go there and say, hey, I want to sleep in the room 418. That's the only way
Wow.
it can be rented. And yeah, my boss that said that he don't believe in that stuff, he don't want to go to that room. He don't want to fix anything in that room. And yeah, it start manifestate since I start doing investigations. And what happened to me last Friday was that I was setting up a meeting for the next day, for Saturday, and for no reason tables fall on me. I went to the floor.
Wow.
Yeah, I went to the floor. I was unconscious for 3 minutes. Well, that's what the guy said when he found me. And
Table fell on you in that room?
not in that room, but in the hotel. This is the first time that the manifestations came out of that room. And well, I did all my paperwork, compensation, everything. And today someone is cover my shift. And well, it's a girl, and she had an accident, and she went to the hospital, and she got a big cut in her face, I guess. That's what she told me.
Wow. So it's escalating.
Yeah. So it's like people start having, a lot of accidents.
Right.
The housekeepers don't want to go to that room. Not even want to go to the one next to that room.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I don't know what you guys think.
So is there a discount on that room now?
I don't know.
Well, just call us. we will come over to investigate with Michael, of course.
Oh, yes. Do bring him.
But I'll tell you what, Alejandro, I'm not covering any of your shifts. No way.
Don't.
Either.
Yeah, that's not good when it turns violent like that. There's a little more going on there when it starts. People are starting to get hurt. So, and sometimes there are not necessarily demonic, but just negative entities. Because someone who was an unhappy in life is probably going to be unhappy in death. But they don't usually cause that kind of harm to where people are having tables fall on them and getting cut and sent to the emergency room, and that's kind of serious. So that's something you need to take a little bit deeper look at.
Well, I supposed to play a game today, and I'm a soccer player as well, and I couldn't play, so I'm stuck in here in this radio station.
You're stuck in the radio station.
Poor guy. Be right back.